Hey, I'm Seth King.
And I'm Soxons.
And we're the Rambling Reviewers.
And today we're looking at a good movie.
Yeah, I know.
How often do we do that?
Yeah.
It's
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yeah. So this is...
despite what the title might sound like, no, it is not about Kubo trying to form a band.
Yeah, no, that should be the sequel? Maybe. I don't know.
No. Yeah, it's a really good movie. It hasn't gotten a whole lot of attention. I strongly advise you guys see it. It's stop motion animation, by the way.
Yeah, it's and all done. I mean, I don't know if it's literally with paper, but they make it look like paper at least. It's not even like claymation. It's very unique that way.
Yeah.
And they make that into a metaphor within the movie, with Kubo himself being this magic origami expert thing.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
really well done. It's a fantasy epic thing, but not like Lord of the Rings epic, like more personal than that. You know what I mean?
A bit of a personal
like
epic.
fewer number of characters, but sort of philosophical, just a little bit, like a
bit,
family philosophical.
Yeah. So it starts out with where we find a woman, Sariatu. And if we're pronouncing that wrong, I apologize. They never say the mom's name in the entire movie.
Oh.
I'm not kidding.
Huh.
They checked that. Well, TV Tropes people did. But yeah, they never say her name anywhere in the movie. And they show her
She's
on
a boat in the middle of nowhere, and Kubo
ocean.
from like kind of Kubo the Future or whatever is narrating this.
Yeah, saying things like, don't blink.
If you must blink, do it now. And we looked at each other like, what? Doctor Who? What?
Oh my god, she's being chased by the Weeping Angels! Which, while that may have made this movie into the greatest thing ever, we sadly don't get that.
Oh, well.
But it shows that she has some magic powers, too. And
what is the name of this instrument?
I'm going to call it a guitar because I don't know what the hell it's called.
I know it's a thing. I can go look it up.
Okay. Kubo, okay, at the top of the mountain, management, Gami, uses
Shamisen. All right.
Shamalama ding dong. Chang 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 di chang chaba. That's the way.
So she's got a shamisen, which we were mentally calling a guitar this whole time.
Because I call anything that has strings, a handle, and is played by strumming it a guitar.
Yeah.
Even if it's a ukulele or banjo, I call it a guitar. I know that's wrong, but you know what? Screw you. So she's playing this.
She's got this on the ocean and like plays a single note that like breaks this giant wave in front of her, and you're like, oh, whoa, magic guitar. I mean, shamisen.
Well, now we know how Moses did this.
No, Moses did. Oh my God, he was like doing like a concert in front of the thing.
Unfortunately, see what happens when you're, what's the word, going out on the ocean in the middle of all of the storms. It tends to get a little rough.
Turns out there's more than one wave out there.
Yeah, I know. I was shocked too.
No.
But
it made sense though. It made perfect sense that she didn't notice the one behind her. It was properly dramatic and whatever. So she gets thrown overboard. The whole thing capsizes. She hits her head underwater
on a rock.
And there's blood, and you're like, whoa, okay, that's pretty rough. And she and the baby. Oh, it turns out she has a baby in her like backpack pouch thing. So she finds the baby is safe and sound and freaking out on the shore and like crawls over to him, and this is Kubo, our main character.
And Kubo only has one eye.
Yeah.
Apparently the other one was cut out while he was still a baby.
Like magically, kind of.
Yeah, we'll get into this brilliant plan later on.
Yeah, it was a little confusing that point.
There's confusing, and then there's really? Really? You're going with this plan? Well, you do you, buddy. So we fast forward until Kubo's like, what, 12?
Yeah, 10? Let's call it 12.
Yeah, let's call it 12. I think 12 is like a good age to still be a kid, not yet be a teenager, but...
on the edge, sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Gravity Falls did that, if you ever seen that.
Yeah, nope.
So he's introduced as this storyteller guy. He makes his living just showing up on market squares or whatever and telling these stories, and then with his magic shamisen, he makes these origami figures come to life and like act out the story. And it was so neat having that not explained to you in advance, and it's like, oh wait, the thing is running around. What? Oh, okay, I guess it's magic. All right, cool. And he throws a fire-breathing chicken in there.
Because fuck you, that's why.
Because some lady told him to, and why not?
Okay, yeah. But one thing that is kind of nice to see is that, well, no one's afraid of him.
Yeah. They didn't do the whole...
TV Tropes mentioned this, but I'd like to elaborate a little bit. Think of every other piece of fiction even one set in the modern day with like the X-Men, which we will talk about sooner or later. Oh my God, that kid has weird powers! Burn him! Particularly in this particular era of time when, well, let's be fair, it's the medieval period, the feudal era of Japan, the medieval era in Europe. This is a period of time where we were still learning, corpses plus drinking water equals bad. And here's a thought: maybe we should poop not where we live.
Oh my God! Don't put that on a T-shirt.
They would, even in the 1800s, they would throw shit out the window. So, and that's not elaboration, or exaggeration.
Yeah, no,
literally out their windows.
I'm aware. Yeah.
So yeah. So them being open-minded enough to say, "Oh, this kid has magic powers, and we shouldn't instantly murder him on sight."
And that too, when he has only one eye, that would easily be like kind of a creepy thing by itself.
Yeah,
and everyone's just like, whatever, he's a friend, we're good.
Whatevs.
Oh, thanks.
So, but like eventually the bell starts ringing, and if you look carefully, the bell is slightly different than what bells would normally look like.
Yeah, I did not look carefully my first time.
But we'll get into... Well, I was taking into account his, don't blink. Always.
Oh, well, I see. Yeah, it's more important than I realized, that instruction.
Yeah. So, the bell starts ringing. It's about 5 o'clock. He starts running for his life, gathers up his money and his food and stuff.
And interrupts the story, which, by the way, this story was all about this hero named Hanzo. Who's a big old samurai hero guy, and he has to fight his arch nemesis, the Moon King. In the meantime, he has to track down these 3 artifacts: the sword unbreakable, the is it breastplate invincible or something, and the helm invulnerable? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
Well, I can look it up while you talk.
Okay, so and he has to find these magic artifacts because they're the only way to stop the Moon King. Mm-hmm. Why don't they already have those? Why did they need... have we ever tried talking it out with the Moon King? No one ever says that. But I bet that's like the really boring story day. And so Hanzo reviewed Article 6B of Section Paragraph 14 about tributes to the Moon King's palace in exchange for continuing to not murder them. Yeah, that was a boring week for story time. Anyways, Kubo always leaves the stories unfinished. That's because he doesn't know how they end, because he's getting these stories from his mom. Now, earlier we'd seen his mom, and she's not in good shape.
Yeah, that was really sick, interesting and dramatic. We were like, whoa, wait, what's going on here?
If you hit someone in the head really, really hard with a rock, they might have mental problems after that.
I know, right? Like, she's basically comatose, like alive, but, just staring out into space.
Brain dead.
Only chews food when he physically puts it in her mouth for her,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, they're really going serious with the whole blood loss leads to nerve cell damage thing in the middle of a fantasy story. That's new.
And at first I attributed this specifically to the brain damage thing. But then later on I revised my theory, and I'll tell you why.
Right. So when
the sun finally goes down, Kubo is back in his mom's cave.
They live in a cave.
Yeah, they live in a cave.
It's a fairly nice cave.
It's a fairly... Yeah, it's just like... This is like one of those caves you see about in fantasy all the time. Perfectly flat floor.
Yeah.
There's like alcoves in the wall.
Who carved that? Maybe she did it with magic.
Like, I've been in caves. They are not like that.
No, they're not made for humans. If they were bat people, that would be that'd be interesting. That's a new movie. Kubo and the 2 bat people.
Kubo and Batman team up to fight the Riddler.
Wow.
Yes.
That'd be interesting.
I would watch that.
Ooh, that'd be interesting crossover of the themes here, but we're going to get to that in a bit.
But anyways, once the sun goes down, his mom starts actually gaining some vitality and life to her.
Yeah.
Starts talking and walking around.
It was confusing, though, that she doesn't, completely gain her vitality back. So we were like, part of it is like a curse, but part of it is brain damage, because she tells him this story and then suddenly loses focus for no, celestial-based reason that we can see.
We'll get to my theory about that, when we get to the appropriate part. And she's telling him these stories, but she still has her brain damage type of stuff, so she doesn't remember all the details of the story and starts doubling back and telling other parts of the story.
Yeah, she just wanders off at one point, which is apparently the reason why Kubo never ends his story, apart from the financial incentive to keep the people coming back every week, or however often he does that. But also, she never gets around to telling him the ending, because she doesn't know what it is.
And we later learn that she doesn't know the ending.
And it doesn't know, yeah.
Even if she was capable of telling it.
Yeah.
But one thing she always drills into Kubo is, You must remember, keep this little statue with you at all times, the little statue of a monkey, and, most importantly, never be out after dark. We never hear why. We never hear her explain why, actually.
It becomes clear to us soon enough, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, because that's always a great thing for kids. Don't do this thing. Well, why? Because I said so. Yeah, because any kid is going to go like, yeah, that's a good thing. I mean, I understand that it's a different with Eastern cultures, and there's a greater emphasis on respecting your elders. But still, like, I really think that a lot of this story could have been averted if we'd gone, okay, Kubo, don't go out after midnight. Don't go out after the sun goes down. Why? Well, monsters from space will come and rip out your eyeball, and then they will eat your soul. Okay, that's a pretty good incentive to not frickin' go outside. And keep in mind, this isn't like a cynical audience like modern children would be. They're like, yeah right, there's no giant space monster. This isn't a society where not only do spirits exist, and we see them existing later in the movie, but they also believe in other things. Like trolls will steal your left sock, or leave milk out for the fairies.
Yeah, I forget exactly how much of that came up, but
that stuff never came up. I'm just giving examples of other similarly developed technological periods with weird beliefs.
Right. Do socks have leftness? Put that on a T-shirt. Do socks have leftness?
I guess if you had them custom made.
You had the custom made socks.
Yeah. Like orthopedic socks? I don't know. Rambling Reviewers.
Orthopedic socks.
Rambling Reviewers. Serious discussion on how child psychology works. Segues into socks.
Socks. Okay, but I was looking at this from a trope perspective, which was, okay, child, who is the main character, do not do this one thing. I'm like, I'm betting he's going to do the one thing, because that's what'll kick off the plot. Remember, I saw this article, I think maybe it was on Cracked. It was, realistic movie posters or something like that. And one of them was called The Box. And it was like a mystic, hundreds years old box. And the tagline was, the old man warned them not to open the box. So they didn't. There is no plot. At the end.
But, okay, so the next day, Kubo's in town, and he hears from an old lady who is his biggest fan. She's the one who told him to make the fire-breathing chicken, because fire-breathing chicken. Her name is Bill.
Oh wait, is it
Kameo?
Kameo, yeah.
Kameo Meo Ha.
I'd like to imagine that cup ending at the climax. Just like, and then after all, no, just Kameo. She'll handle it.
A gender-flipped King Kamehameha.
Yeah.
King of the Hawaiian Islands. But anyways, she says, oh, today's a very special day of the year. Well, okay, so if you go down and you light a lantern made out of paper...
At this one, at the graveyard they have.
You can
at the
speak,
shrines.
You can speak to the dead. Okay?
Which is really nice. And we should, clear by implication that Kubo's father's not around here and is apparently dead.
Yeah. Also, it's implied that his father was actually Hanzo, as his mom said earlier.
Yeah. His mom did say that.
So, in what I really like is a subtle bit, he gets a lantern, he goes down to the graveyard, and he sees Hosato. Oh, sorry. The girl is... Wait, no.
Yeah, we're looking at a cast list here.
Sorry, we're mixing up names. Kameo was the grandma lady.
Yeah.
Hashi is Kubo's biggest fan.
Oh, well, yeah, but the grandma lady was a fan, too.
Hosato is talking to his daughter Hashi and saying, hey, here's how all of this works. The ghosts come, they go into the spirit lantern, and the lantern lights up, and then you take the lantern to the river and you set it loose. And
which, sort of releases the spirit a little bit.
I leaned over to him and said, okay, how much do you want to bet that the villages downriver hate them for sending burning garbage down their way, constantly? God damn it, village! What are you doing up there?
Yeah, trouble with these
And
rituals.
Kubo waits and waits and waits, but, the lantern never lights, which either suggests that his dad's spirit is a dick, or that he's still alive.
Which,
of course,
that letter thing didn't occur to me at the time. I just thought, he wasn't doing the magic correctly or whatever.
Yeah, so Kubo was like, well, you guys are asshole. You're an asshole spirit. He starts to head home, but as he's crossing the road, the sun goes down.
Yeah.
And you hear two ladies call out, Kubo! And they're, gliding towards him with,
they've got,
weapons
these
extended.
These creepy white masks, so you can't actually see their faces, which makes them, of course, all the more scary.
To which I wanted to lean in and say, okay, Kubo, repeat after me. Hola, señoritas. Me llamo Paco. No habla ni pongo.
I mean, Kubo, he's over there. Yeah, I know. The Nipongo is a bit tricky when they're speaking English from our perspective, but
Hey,
yeah.
Well,
Whatever.
How do you, I don't know.
It's in Japan, so but yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know Japanese in Spanish, so
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah. Anyways.
Put that in a t-shirt. I don't know Japanese and Spanish.
Yes, that needs to be a t-shirt. Anyways, Kubo rightly figures out, oh, these creepy ladies with drawn weapons and who are calling my name might be bad.
Yeah.
So he does the sensible thing and runs for his fucking life. At which point, these dark ladies of evil spiritness begin to unleash a very slow-moving cloud of green smoke that chases after him very, very slowly.
I think they just like dragging it out.
Yeah, but like, you got this mission here.
Yeah.
You have a time limit. You can't attack him at like during the daytime. So this means that you do have shit to do.
Yeah. Nah, they're gonna get a
Plus,
poor
you're pretty
review on
sure
their
that your
evil HR report.
You know your sister, who is the strongest of all three of these bitches, is probably still in the area.
Yeah.
So this was really dumb. So Kubo runs directly towards town, naturally allowing it to get utterly demolished. Okay, yes, I know that it's a child's natural instinct. Run towards town. Town is safety.
Yeah.
Lots of people is safety. But then the smoke starts eating and destroying the town. So yeah. And again, I have to question. This smoke can be outrun by a small child who is already exhausted from the rest of the day and while climbing uphill. It's not an exaggeration to say you need a better spell.
They had the budget spells this year, Third quarter.
Anyway, they destroy the town. Kubo's mom shows up and she's like, "Oh shit!
Yeah.
Those are my sisters. Those are your aunts." She might have said that. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but anyways, she says, "Fortunately, I am a master spell person."
Yep.
And she says, "I'll take both of you on at once."
And she casts a spell on Kubo's cloak or whatever that makes him fly away.
Oh, it's important to note that Kubo's cloak his kimono belongs to his father, whose symbol was that of a beetle.
Yeah.
A blue beetle. Meaning, first thing I said to him was, "Oh my god, he has the scarab! He must be Blue Beetle!
Ooh.
Careful or the Reach will invade!"
Yep.
Oh my god, you guys, Blue Beetle's kind of awesome. But anyway, so what happens next is obvious and logical. Kubo's mom tells him, "Hold on to the monkey statue." His kimono grows beetle wings and flies him away as his mom kamikazes herself directly into her sisters. Logical.
That's a family feud, I'll have to say.
Yeah.
Fearsome proportions.
Yeah. So next thing we know, Kubo wakes up in.
I think it was snow. Was it snow?
I don't know what this was.
I thought it was snow at the first. I was like, he's in the top of a Himalayan mountain or something, roughly equivalent to that.
Yeah, but then.
And then later in a different shot, it kind of looked like sand, like really white sand, and I was like, what is this stuff?
How are we going places? What is happening?
The trouble with it is overall wonderful animation and artwork. There were a couple times where you weren't entirely sure what it was being depicted, or this is the only time I wasn't sure. And then other times it was like a little janky for like 2 seconds,
Yeah.
Someone's run cycle wasn't quite right, and you're like, oh well.
Okay, so Kubo wakes up in what is obviously a very comforting position for a 12-year-old who just saw his mom explode.
Yeah.
And was carried away by beetle wings.
Yeah.
He sees a monkey yelling at him, "Kubo, we need to get up and we need to go!" And the monkey acts surprised that Kubo is, absolutely terrified that a monkey is talking to him in the middle of a snowstorm after he watched his mother explode while fighting demons.
Yeah, Monkey doesn't have a whole lot of patience.
Yeah, I mean, like Monkey's like one of my 3 favorite characters in the movie, but at the same time, you gotta think, hey, Monkey, you might want to think about how this whole thing is coming across. Just a little.
We'll get back to that later.
But Monkey, But okay, we already spoiled it, but these two women are the sisters of Mom.
of the what's her name?
The mother.
Sariaru.
Sariaru. And we later learn that they're only active at night. So
because they are part of the Moon Empire, I guess. Which is apparently, magically connected with the night, naturally.
Yeah, okay. So basically they're being chased by the Shadow Bolts and Nightmare Moon.
Yes.
Tell me that's wrong.
Also, his grandfather is the Moon King.
Yeah,
she told him, and took his eye when he was a baby for reasons.
No. We'll get to that when we get to it.
Right.
But so my theory is that not only is she suffering from brain damage, which is why when she's active she's still,
not entirely there.
Yeah, but at the same time, she's also suffering from my species isn't active at nighttime.
Nocturnalism
Is active at nighttime, and during the daytime she doesn't do shit. That's why she only really starts. We don't really see her moving when it's nighttime.
Right. I mean, the initial scene with the boat on the ocean was nighttime.
Yes, and we never see her active during the day, except it's like vampires, except they don't burst into flames. I mean, until later in the movie when it's dramatically convenient and needs to fight demons.
Anyway,
but still. So Monkey drags Kubo, and Monkey just shows up. We get no warning of Monkey's appearance. She's just.
I mean, I kind
Kubo
of.
wakes up. Yeah. Monkey, talking monkey.
I expected that though, because this whole make sure you keep this monkey statuette with you at all times.
Okay, yes, but still, like.
Yeah. It was kind of sudden.
Eventually, she drags him over to a convenient nearby whale carcass and starts a fire inside of it. Roll with it.
Yeah, where are we that there's a whale carcass? Come to think of it, I had them in a snowy location, therefore, like Himalayas.
But then there's like sand and desert.
But then
stuff.
if they're in the desert, like where the frick was the whale doing? This is like a whale on a road trip or something.
No. I think we're on what's the planet in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where the whale crashed.
Oh my gosh, it's a crossover. The poor whale.
Well, it would make like everything make more sense if it's just so weird and ridiculous already.
I don't know what was going on.
I want to say Gallifrey, but that's really not the right planet.
No.
And she says, you get 3 questions, and she's acting really strict and stuff.
Yeah.
You get 3 questions, and you just wait, and she does the old, I can ask 3 questions? Yes, you just wasted 1 trick. Which is bullshit anyways. Yeah. She reveals, congratulations, those were servants of the Moon King. The Moon King wants your eye.
We gotta find the 3 pieces of the
super armor. So you need to eat this pieces of rotten whale meat that I made into a stew.
Which he eats eventually.
Yep. So, and eventually they set out in the morning. It's a good character building scene. I'm not doing it justice because it's got a lot of intricate little details that I'm not remembering correctly.
That's fine.
So the next morning they set out from the rotting whale carcass, completely free of all the diseases and predators and parasites that would be crawling all over the rotting whale carcass. Although it's cold, maybe. But we never see anyone complaining about the temperature.
Yeah, it was so confusing. I don't know.
So Kubo reveals that he can control paper. Well, he could do that before, but he creates a piece of paper that forms...
Well, what happens is they wake up, and there's a little Hanzo paper figure just sitting there without Kubo having consciously made it.
Yeah, I don't really get this part. Why is it conscious?
Yeah, so apparently this basic figure is not like a puppet, it's going, hey guys, hey, like without saying it out loud, like we need to go this way, because apparently it knows where all the plot important armor things are.
Yeah, why does this exist? Like, and we later,
Magic.
I mean, it's not Hanzo.
Well, I always want to imagine it's a small bit of Hanzo's awareness. It's almost like if you made a journal in magic form.
Okay, I have a theory about this now, but let's continue on and reveal things. So Kubo decides to play pranks on birds by making paper birds, and then he creates bugs that sting Monkey because Kubo's a jerk and Monkey's a jerk to each other.
The things got out of his control a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, a little bit, but eventually they start walking through what I think is a desert because there's massive statues and stuff.
Because only deserts have massive statues.
Yeah, well, it's... I don't know.
I met a traveler from an antique land who said... That's a good poem.
Well, I remember, I generally associate giant ancient statues partially...
Oh, right, because of Egypt and all that stuff. That would naturally be an association.
Yes, but that's so ingrained in Western consciousness. It's just kind of a...
Also, it did look like sand in at least a couple of shots.
Yeah.
When they moved it around.
Kubo, as Monkey's telling him, you must keep alert at all times, Kubo manages to get his ass kidnapped.
Hey!
Because Kubo is very stupid.
Well, he is 12.
Okay, and
Not to be offensive to 12-year-olds.
Wait, if any 12-year-olds are listening, fuck! Okay.
We got rid of them? Was that the idea?
No, I wanted to expose them to the word fuck to make sure that parents are keeping an eye on their children. Otherwise, this is the shit we're going to teach you guys.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so Monkey sees a massive, multi-limbed creature standing over Kubo, and she prepares to attack. And then Kubo runs out and says, no, it's okay, it's okay. And this is my favorite character in the whole movie.
He's so fun. Yeah.
It's Beetle. He looks like what would happen if you combined a samurai, a robot, and Jakar from Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go look it up. He's on the posters and everything.
Yeah.
And the way he moves is Beetle-like, too, sometimes.
He has 4 arms. He's a superb archer.
And he's goofy as all get out. I love him.
He's goofy as all get out, but in like but it's not in a grating or obnoxious
way.
No,
yeah.
Because there's a lot of people seem to think, oh, we need comic relief. They must be as obnoxious and silly as possible and not give them anything else.
Nah.
Beetle is funny and goofy, but he does it in a way that makes you both sympathetic towards him and also like him. It makes you think, oh, this guy has a good sense of humor.
Yeah, he explains that he's got some amnesia problem, that naturally he can't remember why he has that. He thinks he must have been cursed or something to turn into beetle form. He recognizes the paper form of Hanzo and says, oh, I think he was my master. Like, he explains he gets little flashes of memory now and then.
Yeah, and he reveals a bit more convincing piece of evidence, a massive flag in his room that shows Hanzo's logo, which is a beetle. Although he could have just said, hey, that's me. And took it. But anyways.
So Kubo, against Monkey's advice, reveals that Hanzo is actually his dad. And he's like, oh, cool, I have served Hanzo once, I'll serve you now. And Kubo's like, oh, I'll tell you my story or whatever. And he's like, oh, I'll pay absolute attention. I won't even blink. Do I have eyelids? Like, he doesn't know because he's a beetle and beetles don't have eyelids. And...
how often do you think, do I have this part of my body or not?
He's hilarious that way.
Monkey's like, no, we shouldn't bring him along. He wouldn't bring anything. He's like, I would serve you loyally and fight to the death for you. He's like, that's not good enough. What skills do you bring? And then he does the Robin Hood thing of splitting the arrow, except he does it again and again and again and again until it forms like this flower. Yeah. It's like, whoa, I didn't even know I could do that. It's like, let's take him. And so, following the directions of this little Hanzo doll, our party, consisting of Kubo, the mage, Beetle, the archer, and...
Beetle, archer / fighter, I guess, because he could also use a sword if he wanted to.
Yeah, but he's...
Mostly the archer, yeah.
So, they go off and into this creepy-looking cave. Why do they make all the caves that hold ancient artifacts super freaking creepy? It's like, this looks kind of like a bunny. Chisel it away until it looks like a skull.
And also, it's convenient enough.
And we know who's responsible. Curse you, Kryptonian hologram designer!
That guy! Oh, go watch our very first review ever, people.
No, please don't. It's terrible.
That guy.
More skulls! Okay, him and Professor Challenger. Those are our running gags.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, all we need to do to finish this movie is say, Professor Challenger, the moon is a journalist! And that's how the world turned into the world of Ruby and why the moon is shattered in Ruby.
Wow, it all connects.
Oh, yeah.
So, they see this skeleton hand, unconnected to anything, with a sword in the middle, and they're like stabbed through the middle, and they're like, oh, it must be the sword Unbreakable.
Why they think this, I don't know.
Well, at least Hanzo doll was pointing in that direction.
Okay, so Beetle says, no, wait, it might be a trap. So he runs up and he grabs it and pulls it out, and pretty much nothing happens to the sword, and then the hand starts raising up.
Yeah.
And here's something cool what appears next. It is a giant armor-wearing skeleton monster with tons of swords stabbed into its skull, including the sword Unbreakable. But none of them know which is the sword Unbreakable.
Yeah, the one that was in the hand just breaks immediately.
Yeah,
which you'd have to make those swords particularly poorly for them to break immediately.
Unless Monkey and Beetle are really, really freaking strong.
Yeah.
Which, given that they're magical, that's not outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
big old fight with a big old monster, which in real life is like 10 feet tall.
Yeah, it's actually broke records. This is the largest puppet ever done for a stop-motion film. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty good fight with archery and various methods.
And clambering onto its head and like trying to fight. Is this the sword unbreakable? No. Is this one? No. Is this one? No. There's a couple moments in the movie where like they slightly missed a beat. Somehow people become aware that this other remaining sword is the sword unbreakable, though they haven't yet picked it up and tested to see if it breaks. They just kind of suddenly they knew. Like it was like this one, it has to be that one. I don't know what happened there.
Maybe it was the nicest looking sword left.
Yeah, I guess.
Again, if they went with that theory, then they would have died like shit in the what was
Last Crusade?
Yes.
Yes, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, so moving along, they kill the monster by removing the sword, which honestly would be a way cooler origin for the the King Arthur legend. Okay, you can remove Excalibur, no problem. Remove it without getting stomped on by the giant monster? Hell, now we got
the sword and the skeleton. Oh, that's a bit new.
Yep. So they get out of there, and Monkey and Beetle start arguing over, Kubo.
Oh, well, yeah, they end up at this, like, lake or whatever, like a giant, like maybe the ocean or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
They wind up at a body of water, and this is another slightly missed beat. We didn't, like, get to, oh, look, clearly the Badal is pointing across the way. We should maybe see if we can go across the ocean, because that's where the thing is. It was just a little too quick and now let's argue about whether or not we should do this. I'm like, wait, do what? We have to cross this lake now? Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I think we missed a scene. I hope there's a director's cut.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just a slightly misstep in the writing or something.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it happened.
It happened. Oh, yeah, it's still a good movie overall, of course.
Okay, so Monkey and
Beetle
almost said the other name. Start arguing like an old married couple. Foreshadowing! So they start arguing like an old married couple, and meanwhile Kubo decides to show both of them up by creating a boat out of leaves.
Because leaves are close enough to paper that like his magic works on. That was pretty clever. Yeah. I like that.
So,
and it's a really well done boat, dude. It's not a canoe or some shit. Like
it's like a Chinese junk or something. It's like an actual freaking boat
with a sail and everything. Good for you, Kubo.
And along the way, Monkey and Beetle and Kubo all start bonding. Beetle starts showing him how to shoot arrows and stuff.
Oh, yeah. They start fishing. And he's like, all right, here's where we go. Waha! And he manages to hit the fish.
It's pretty sweet.
Which is great. And then the fish sinks. And you're like, oh, how are we going to get it?
So Monkey ties a rope to the arrow and fires that.
So for the next time they can reel it in and get themselves a proper fish.
And then they start having dinner or lunch. Brunch on the boat.
It ends up being nighttime pretty soon, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so eventually the Hanzo doll starts pointing down and saying, okay, the vest
impenetrable. It was the breastplate impenetrable. No, the armor impenetrable. Sorry.
Yeah, they got the helmet, they got the sword, and they have a breastplate. And the breastplate. They're going to really... This is going to really suck when it turns out that the guy likes going for legs.
Yeah, it's a crawling zombie, right? It's like, God.
Okay. But, so they have to go down, but beware, because the place is protected by a field of hypnotic eyes that guards the underwater Sarlacc.
Yeah, a forest of eyes, he called it. Like, I thought that was pretty cool. Beetle thought that was kind of scary. He's like, I'll go down and get it. No, there's a forest of eyes down there. Well, not entirely sure.
To be fair, though, that is scary.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And considering that sounds like magic shit, the last piece of magic shit you encountered tried to murder you by eating you like a frickin' Titan from Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
And that the previous experience with magic was losing all your memories and getting turned into a beetle monster. I would be hesitant to involve magic as well.
Yeah, me too. You need a magic FDA is what you need. Yeah. Approved magic.
So, anyways, Beetle decides to go down there and get the armor for Kubo. And they wait, and Beetle had earlier said, oh, it's okay. Beetles can hold their breath for a really long time. So you remember nothing about your life, but everything about Beetle trivia. Yes.
Yep.
No, that's not me making fun of it. That's actually lines from the movie. This movie is awesome. So Kubo eventually decides, fuck it. Beetle's probably in trouble. I'm going down there. I'm gonna just go fuck shit up, man. Well, he says it in more.
Yeah, he says it in a fancier way than that.
And it turns out that Kubo gets trapped in the field of ice.
And it means that so I'm trying to go into the exact sequence of this because it turns night and the sisters show up.
Well, one of the sisters does.
Yeah.
Because the sisters, when they were like, oh damn it, our other sister exploded. We should go in opposite directions. For reasons.
I don't know how, if they're using some sort of magic radar or what. I mean, they didn't find Kubo in the first place, so they must have magic radar. But then why would they split up? Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, maybe...
Maybe once nighttime hits, they know where he is, but they're hoping one of them will be within a reasonable radius.
That actually sounds like the more plausible explanation.
Yeah.
So, the mom...
Of somebody.
Fuck, damn it.
No, this is the moment of revelation anyway. Kubo's underneath the water, and he sees the eyes, and they have this thing of revealing secrets, and he sees Monkey and his mom, like, superimposed images on each other.
Yeah, it turns out, and this is the scene where this is revealed, that Monkey is actually Kubo's mom.
Like, reincarnated in monkey form.
Yeah, but we also later... Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But so, his mom is kind of amazing with a sword in a monkey body. I don't get it.
She had trained in advance to use monkey body techniques. I don't know.
You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. It's magic. I don't care.
Yep.
And it's a pretty epic fight. The boat is destroyed. Monkey gets very badly wounded. And in the middle of it, Beetle shows up. And he probably proclaims, I got the fish!
Having completely forgotten what he was doing down there. And you're like,
but he got the fish.
He got the fish. That took some doing.
It's like, go help Kubo! Oh, right. So he goes down there, and you'd expect him to blunder around and then wake up Kubo, who actually does the rescuing. No, Kubo is useless in this rescue scene. So
Beetle proves his worth with the...
he starts sniping out all the eyes with a bow and arrow underwater while saving Kubo from just before he got eaten by the Sarlacc. And they go up to the surface, and Kubo wakes up, and he fixes up the boat. Monkey gets sort of...
cured enough for the present time.
Yeah, so they have 2 of the 3 artifacts. And so they go to a cave. And this is another one of those designer, really roomy caves with a flat floor. And
everywhere, man.
And so they start revealing things.
So Kubo's asleep at this point. And Monkey...
No. Isn't Monkey awake? Wait, Monkey is awake for the... telling him the backstory of how Kubo came to be.
Oh, right, yeah.
Turns out that at one point, the King of the Moon was like, hey, fuck those humans, I'm a god, and heard that one of the humans, a warlord named Hanzo, is trying to gather these 3 artifacts so he can stop the Moon King. So he sent his most skilled of daughters down to the planet to murder him. And she tore through his armies and dueled him for days on end. At which point, Hanzo leaned forward and said, you are my quest. And they fell in love, and they had Kubo.
That was a really shotgun-y sort of a marriage there.
Yeah, that's... Dude, when you make Miria and Max's romance in Robotech look, subtle and restrained by comparison, you should stop. I mean, I like the couple a lot. Yeah. But... no.
I mean, I can take it too that fairy tale type of thing. These things are always simplified. It would have been nice to have a little bit more development there, implied.
I could see a whole story based on this. She's trying to kill him, and every night she tries to kill him, and eventually one night she gets hurt, and he angrily patches her up because that's how he rolls. He is an honorable warrior, and just because he won't defeat her just because she tripped on a rock and splinted her ankle. Right. And but the days go by, and they start to feel things for each other. That would be a cool story.
Could be, yeah. Or I was thinking if he had reason to feel sympathy for her, she never wanted to do any of this fighting in the first place, but the Moon King is forcing her into it. Yeah, and eventually you saw hey, I realize you don't actually hate me. You're just doing it because it's your job, and we could rebel together against your father.
But that's not what we get. They openly state it's because she looked into his eyes, saw the humanity, and fell in love with the humanity.
Yeah. It was a little quick. But okay.
Which is also where we get into the Moon King's geniusly stupid plan. The Moon King sent his other 2 daughters, and himself, down to Earth, where they plowed through Lord Hanzo's army. Why do you have an army? They are hopelessly incompetent. You can't defeat 3 people. You know,
I think they normally fight other humans. Yeah.
No, we see Kubo and like Kubo manages to scratch out one of the Moon King's eyes later on, you know, with a sword. So I'm thinking that these guys might be vulnerable to actual damage. Oh my god, they're coming at us with spears. Shoot them with bows.
Yeah.
Really? Just okay. Your army is worthless, and so is everyone you know, Hanzo.
Aww.
So the Moon King is like, well, fuck that. Okay. So they capture Hanzo, take him away, and then they get to Kubo, and this is the plan, and you gotta admit it's genius, because while Kubo's a baby, the Moon King plans to cut out Kubo's eyes so that he can never look into the eyes of another human, fall in love with humanity, and live forever in space as a star god. I have a question about this. Why is it that the first thought you have is, my god, we have to prevent this child from learning how awesome humans are, not simply bring him to space, teach him that humans are scum so he doesn't have a desire to go down there, and, I don't know, not mutilate his eyeballs?
Yeah.
This is like his first option, man. So how can I prevent people from going down to Earth? Tear out our eyes! Okay, this plan is genius. I art a smartest space god.
It was, I mean, I get that they were trying to do something symbolic with eyes. I get that.
What the fuck?
But, like, it was a little weird because when you eventually see him, the Moon King, he has eyes.
He's blind, though. Look at his eyes.
Yeah.
They're milky white. They're blind.
Yeah, so it was just slightly different blindness or something. I don't know. When you're gonna get your symbols to, like, line up properly so you understand. Especially when he's blind, but he can see things.
I attributed that to space god,
Space
daredevil
god senses,
bullshit.
yeah.
I mean, you know, you're a god. You basically transcend the normal limits of a fourth dimensional creature like us.
Yeah.
Three-dimensional.
It was just a little unclear.
Yeah. So, anyways, after Kubo goes to bed, well, okay. After they took one of his eyes, the mom was like, "No, fuck that," stole away Kubo, and that's where the story began.
Mm-hmm.
So after they go to bed, after Kubo goes to bed, Beetle confronts Monkey and says stuff like, "Dude, I care. We may argue, but I care about you. Why didn't you tell him that you were hurt?" It's because apparently the magic sustaining the monkey doll is fading.
I thought it was, why didn't you tell him that you're secretly his mom reincarnated?
Oh.
Did I have that wrong? Did you? One of us has that wrong.
Why didn't you tell him before, maybe? I don't know.
Why didn't you tell him before? Yeah, maybe it was both things. Anyway, yeah, I wondered why she didn't tell him before that she was his mom. And I would have thrown in a line there that was like, I didn't know at first, you know, the knowledge came to me slowly, because amnesia is a huge theme in this movie. But it was apparently, what, you knew all the whole time, and you, I mean, if he's grieving for his mom, it'd be a great time to be like, hi, I'm actually alive. I know it'd be a little weird that she's in a monkey form now, but that's better than dead and exploded.
Okay, yes. The explanation she does give does make sense, but it still kind of pisses me off. Yeah. It's better... See, this body is not stable. It will slowly lose the magic, and I will stop existing soon.
Yeah.
So, it would be better if he never knows, and just his monkey helper just kind of deteriorates into nothingness. He will never have to lose his mother twice. However, this is also bullshit, because if my mom died and I had a chance to see her even for 2 weeks, I would take it and slap the shit out of anyone who told me differently.
Yeah. I mean, he'll lose his mom twice? Well, no, the first time gets canceled out, so really he's only going to lose his mom once. It's just now you've got time to say goodbye beyond, quick, use your beetle wings to fly away while I kamikaze somebody. Which is not the best final conversation you could have. I mean, it was epic. I'm just saying, it wasn't personal in the way you might hope.
I thought it's kind of weird, you know, we have a Japanese person who's kamikazing in a ball of fire someone else.
I didn't mean to make that comparison.
No, I made the comparison first, and it was like, I just didn't realize...
That's just the term we use for heroic sacrifice. Or sacrifice of any kind.
No, kamikaze is what we do when you smash yourself into the enemy and destroy them.
Well, yeah.
Heroic sacrifice is just not necessarily kamikaze.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Well, we'll draw a Venn diagram later.
Okay. So, So that's Monkey's reasoning. Also, it's kind of clear at this point that Monkey and Beetle kind of have a thing for each other, which at once is kind of sweet and heartwarming, and the other, ew! Ew, don't make me think that.
Well, I just thought it was a little quick, but then I explain it as we get to in a moment.
Which,
so Kubo has this vision while he's asleep.
I thought it was just a magic dream.
Magic dream vision thing. Where he meets a mysterious guy who has milky white eyes, which apparently means you're blind. Is that a real medical thing?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I've seen
I've
like
just seen
other
that in
creatures
fiction.
with it.
Yeah,
and
really.
unless you're Hyuga from Naruto, in which case eat all the dicks. I hate Naruto.
Okay.
But
so he finds this mysterious blind guy. I'm like, it's totally the Moon King, you guys. Come on.
And he's like, I can see better without my eyes now. I wanted to go, I don't think you know how eyes work, sir. That's not how they work.
And he tells Kubo to go to this particular spot where he can find...
This castle that belonged to
Hanzo's castle, where he can find the helmet invulnerable.
Yeah, again, I'm noticing no protection for the arms or legs here in this armor of awesomeness.
Magic? I'm going to say magic.
The armor of Stark. It's Iron Man. Yes!
Or it's like a invulnerable wetsuit. Like, ta-da!
Okay, so... Which actually does make sense. It's not like, oh, let's go to Trap Island, where it's totally not a trap.
Yeah.
It's like, this is Hanzo's castle. If he was trying to recover these damn things, and he managed to recover it, he'd probably have it at his house.
Yeah, except Paper Doll Hanzo, if you pay attention, is pointing
does.
away while we do this. I'm like, see, everybody, they're not looking at Paper Doll Hanzo. That's just totally a trap, you guys.
So they go to Hanzo's house, and they have to fight the other sister, because the first sister, well, got her ass killed by Mom
Maybe
Monkey.
they should have named these sisters.
Yeah, they really should have.
Yeah.
And evil sister is like...
Two
is like, yes, I'm going to curb stomp you now. And she does. And then the beetle goes, yes, and now I will knock you away, and then toss aside my swords, because that's a smart thing to do.
I know, he knocked her away, and I was like, we're missing, like, another shot there. This is almost like they made a virtue out of their vice, because previously they've been like, oh, they missed a little beat there, they missed... when they were about to go into the ocean, like, dive down into it to find the armor, I thought there was missing a beat there, too, of, like, you know, lean over the thing, and then see it's glowing down there, and be like, oh, that's where it is. So this is one time like, oh, they seem to have missed a thing. No, this time they did it on purpose. She's not dead.
Yeah, so the beetle goes, oh my god, you guys are you guys okay? You got your asses handed to you by evil sister number... And then he's stabbed. And evil sister...
Well, just before he gets stabbed, he figures out who he is.
No. Like, the lady goes, yeah, okay, you know Beetle? Yeah, you were... Hanzo was as low as a crawling insect, so we turned him into a beetle. You're Hanzo. You're Kubo's dad. So, Congratulations, Kubo. You have your whole family here together, except for the sister that died. And Dad, because he's a dick.
You have your whole non-evil family here together.
And one of your evil family.
Because what family reunion is there without the evil one?
Yes.
There's one in every family, so two in mine, actually. Oh my gosh, Sazu was related to that anyway.
So, and then evil sister kills Mom Monkey and Beetle Dad just after everyone learned, oh wait, my family's still alive.
Not anymore!
So,
But they made, actually, a point earlier that we skipped I thought was really neat. When they were walking along, and they end up talking about the afterlife, and Beetle asks Monkey, so what happens after we die? And she says, well, like Kubo's paper, we continue to exist, but we change into new forms.
Unless you're magic, in which case you turn into a monkey statue.
Well, that's a new form. It's a new form. But I was like, oh, wait, so that ties in with Kubo being an origami magic guy, but also the entire art style is paper. And it's origami, and it's a whole reincarnation thingamajig that's in, like, every frame of the movie now. That's interesting. I like that.
So, Kubo then defeats her with the power of rock and roll.
Yep.
I'm only sort of kidding in this one. He strums his magic...
The power of ancient rock and roll.
He strums his magic shamisen? Japanese guitar.
Japanese guitar.
He strums it so hard that his shamisen strings break.
Oh, yeah. He sacrifices the strings in the effort of magic. Because that happens.
Yeah. And it ultimately destroys evil bitch Ant.
Yep.
So Then he takes some seemingly innocuous pieces of things that he'd gathered along his trip. Like his mom had made like a little bracelet out of hair.
Oh, yeah. A bracelet out of... Wait. Her hair.
Yeah.
Right. The mom's hair that then Monkey made a bracelet out of to say this is an important memory, right? And there was a bracelet connected with his dad, too. Wait, how did that work?
It was his bowstring.
His bowstring. That was
his
the
bowstring. He
Yeah,
took his bowstring and he turned them into strings for his guitar.
Well, he does later on. He hasn't done that yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he takes
It's the epic thing at the end, yeah.
So I have to admit I don't know exactly how those sound, but I cannot imagine they sound good.
I'm going to say magic.
Yeah. So he realizes that the helmet invulnerable is actually the bell from the town back at the beginning of the movie.
Which is cool, and maybe somebody should have written that down so we would know these things in case of emergencies.
It does explain why Kubo's mom was in the area if she was trying to complete the quest, but then got interrupted by brain damage.
That's true, yeah, okay.
But, like, seriously, here, honey, here's this helmet thing. Wait, why was it in that town as a bell?
I'm sure there's a long, storied story for that.
You know what? Never mind. Anyway, so Kubo goes and he finds the helmet, and the Moon King shows up in his really old man form.
Yep.
And he's like, Kubo, want to come with me and live in space and be awesome and a god? Because this place is hell, and everything on this planet is shit, and I hate everything, and I want to blow up the world, and gods are awesome and humans are pathetic and weak. But anyways, want to come with me?
He was a little crazy, but it fits into the theme, though, of... So, to fully embrace one's humanity means you have to deal with the downside of it. The fact that people die and there's grief and suffering of various forms. And so the Moon King represents then the other way of living, which is not to be connected to anything, not to care about anything, and like, oh, you'll never be hurt, but then you'll never like have joy to speak of. If you want to see this played out even better, I recommend The Tale of the Princess Kaguya by Studio Ghibli and directed by Takahata, which uses the same moon theme.
Wait, is that the one where the girl is looking for the key?
No.
Has the key? Is the girl being interviewed by the two guys?
No. Who's the girl being interviewed by the two guys?
Millennium Princess.
Oh, yeah, that's a good movie, but not related.
Well, I didn't know what you were talking about.
Millennium Actress, right?
Yeah, that was it.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Okay, well, it's still good, but it's whatever. Anyways, so Grandpa decides to be completely and utterly reasonable, and when Kubo says, "No, I don't want you to rip out my other eyeball," he goes, "Very well then." And then he sheds his skin like a snake and turns into a giant fish dragon.
Whoa!
Well, okay, yes.
That's one way to trump an argument. Well, how about fish dragon? Well, you win.
The Moon King is a fish dragon. Your argument is invalid.
Yep.
So they fight and they fight and they fight and they fight and they fight. And Kubo actually does not do... Shockingly, Kubo, the 12-year-old boy, who has only received a sword in the last, 72 hours and has no experience with fighting with a sword, somehow loses this fight.
It was on the one hand very interesting that they went with the realism on that. Like, yeah, of course, he doesn't have military experience.
Or any martial experience.
On the other hand, it was a slight bit of like, wow, that threw the theme off a little. Like, we spent this whole time getting this armor together.
And it was pointless.
Which gets to the other theme of like figuring out what's, truly your skill and your passion in life. It was just a little odd.
Okay, so he runs away, obviously, because he's being chased by a giant fish space dragon.
Winds up in that shrine spot from before.
Yep, and all the other villagers are there, and they give a friendship speech about how friendship is the greatest thing ever, and memories of those who have gone are still with us,
and Kubo ends up actually finally justifying the title.
He takes the bracelet from his mom and turns it into a string for his guitar, and the bowstring from his dad, and he turns that into another string for his guitar.
And he uses his own hair as the third string, which means his three strings now consist literally of one of them is himself, plus two strings.
Kubo
and the two strings. There you go.
Okay. So, and he forms a force field around the villagers to protect from giant space dragon grandpa fish.
Yeah.
And he eventually says, I believe in my family. I remember this stuff. I will always remember. And then he rocks out so hard that it creates an expanding force field of doom and crushes and destroys the monster, who turns into a human for some reason. And one of his eyes is now okay because it's actually Kubo's human eye.
Yay, magic.
And he doesn't remember anything.
Yeah, and this is interesting how they did this redemption bit here. I mean, it was a little quick, but it was...
I don't know. I like it, but at the same time, it makes me feel really uncomfortable because it's like...
Yeah, we brainwashed the villain.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically the plot of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, is it?
Okay, the plot is that you start off as this random guy with not very many memories, and you're fighting against the evil forces of Darth Malak, who used to serve a much more powerful overlord known as Darth Revan.
Okay.
And Darth Revan is, like, conquered a huge chunk of the galaxy. Everyone else is just kind of shittily following in his footsteps. Malak doesn't even have his own original plans, and those that he does, crap.
Oh.
So you play the title character, the Knight of the Old Republic, and you're like, oh, I have force potential. But throughout this story, you're being given hints of, like, weird things until it was revealed, oh, turns out it should have been called Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So I'm the asshole. You were playing as Darth Revan the whole time.
I saw that coming as soon as you said there was once a guy named... Oh, he's the amnesiac. Whoever the mysterious person is always the amnesiac.
Yeah. So it turns out... And that was wrong, because they basically took a guy and they erased his memories and then filled in their own personality in its place.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand
which is what
extenuating circumstances, and you had to save the world and all this.
I mean, like, you don't want to tell him you're an evil space fish dragon god.
Right, and they're trying to make a point about... So reincarnation, then, in a death sense, is also linked to this ability of a person to change without actually dying. So now it's... Oh, he is sort of reincarnated in his personality. He has a new chance at a new life, this Moon King guy.
Two problems I have with that. Yeah. One, I prefer if people change... to do it of their own volition.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's take this mindless robot and program him.
Yeah, I agree.
And two, and this is probably a little more important, it's still kind of creepy that they did this. Everyone's just going along with this. I mean, I understand you don't want him to go back to murdering Death Fish God thing.
And you have to understand also this sense of there being extremely forgiving and welcoming. They could have just said, yeah, we hate you, we're throwing you out of town. I love the little girl who, like, totally plays it up all of a sudden. They're like, they're telling him his attributes. Like, oh, no, yeah, you don't remember anything? Well, you're a wonderful person. Yeah, no, you go around every day giving compliments to people. And the little girl's like, and you give money to children, like me.
Little bastard.
It was cute.
Okay, it was cute, but...
Yeah, I know. It's manipulative if you think about it. I know.
It's manipulative. It's kind of wrong. And plus, congratulations for your new life. You're like 90 years old, so you'll have like 3 years to enjoy it.
Yeah, well, there's a definitely an afterlife in this universe thing, so that's nice. They can talk to the dead,
Yeah. Until the Ghostbusters come around.
For the other crossover.
Okay, so anyways, then they later on showed everything's kind of gone to normal-ish.
Everything's okay again. Yeah.
Town that doesn't get a name.
Yeah.
But
brand town.
Kubo gets more paper lanterns, and that I've used them before. Like I've done the hot air balloons made out of paper.
Oh.
They're actually pretty fun, but still, lanterns made out of paper. This doesn't seem like a bad idea to anyone else. No one else is thinking, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't make the lantern out of the thing that it's supposed to contain and is flammable.
I think historically, though, they did do that. So.
Yeah, I know. It's just... Really?
So basically, now we're arguing with history and telling them, you guys need better fire codes, which they did, because historically, all over the world, there used to be more fires than there are nowadays.
Yeah, so suck at history, we win. Where are you guys? Dead? Or hundreds of years in the past? I think I speak my point.
Oh, dear.
So, anyways, after they brainwash Grandpa, Kubo gets some paper lanterns, and they light up on their own, indicating that the spirits of his parents are proud of him, or something.
Yeah.
And then we see the spirits of his parents, which is the only time we ever see Hanzo in the whole movie.
Yeah, in proper Hanzo form, yeah.
Yeah, go back to the beetle thing. That was cooler.
Yeah, it was.
Go back to Bug Robot Jakar.
Yeah.
And the end. That was Kubo and the Two Strings.
So it's a movie that's really trying to say something, really trying to be a work of art, and not just cashing in on some trend or whatever. Right? It's trying to stand on its own. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It had all the problems we listed, but still quite a work. Yeah, you know. As to how we would improve it, I mean, I guess we kind of touched on here and there how we put a little.
Honestly, it's so good. There's not really much you can do. Just like a few.
We'd throw in a few extra beats, you know, to make things a little more explained or detailed. The falling in love story bit, for instance. The I don't know. I mean, I have an instinct to maybe make the Moon King actually not have eyes, but then he couldn't express well enough. I'm trying to make the eye thing line up slightly better, you know, but it's all these little details we're talking about. The thrust of it was kind of deep, you know? It was about death and loss and resurrection and reincarnation and dealing with change and one's own feelings and not, you know, silencing those feelings the way the Moon King is doing. Again, Kaguya does it even better, but that is Studio Ghibli for you, so
well, yeah,
they kind of
Ghibli's
win at
kind of
everything,
amazing. Yeah.
except Tales from Earthsea.
You know, I'm gonna see that just to see what the fuck the problem is with it.
This is just the one bad Ghibli movie.
You have Tales from Earthsea. I have Jupiter Rising. Jupiter
Oh,
Ascending.
that's worse. That's worse. I mean, the worst Ghibli movie is still better than Jupiter Rising, as far Jupiter Ascending. Not that I've seen it, but I've heard. I've heard, man.
Yeah, dude. No.
You know, Wachowskis, you did a really great job back in the day, but
You did a great job with The Matrix. You should have stopped there.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to say stop making movies. I'm just saying, like, the guys who are giving you...
Don't make more of this.
And the guys who give you $100 million over and over, there are so many other would-be directors who would love to get a shot at just a $20 million movie, you know?
Can we get those guys?
Let's get 5 of those movies. That'd be great. Instead of $100 million for Jupiter Ascending. Hollywood's a bit crazy, but I guess that's not entirely new.
But anyway. So Kubo and the Two Strings, great movie. Go see it.
That's it.
Hope you can find it on DVD, because I don't know how much longer it's going to be in the theaters.
I don't know. Yeah, good luck.
Okay, I guess we're done.
Next one. Okay.
Anyways, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
Signing off.